can share because we care, and that we can also make sure that as we interact, that we don't counteract. We pray, Lord, that this evening's program will be meaningful, that we'll be appreciative of the wisdom that you have allowed us to have, so that we can grow in grace and in the knowledge of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. We are grateful for us presented this evening. Bless her, help her to recall that which she has prepared. And we pray, Lord, that everything that we do will meet your divine approbation. This we pray in Jesus' name. Amen. At this time, Sister Tonette Anderson is going to come forward, and she is going to introduce to us our special guest this afternoon on Perspectives.
Happy Sabbath evening, everyone. Our special guest today is one of our own. She hasn't been with us in a while, but she's a very powerful person, and she has a word for us, something that, you know, touched close to my heart. And I'm sure, you know, someone here or online will receive something from what she has to say. It's Andina McCleary is a proud native of Jamaica and hails from Augustown, a little community in Kingston. She migrated to the United States at a young age, where she has humble beginnings, which led and can you do glasses? I'm not seeing it clear. But none other. We're gonna have Sarah. I know her, Sarah, and she is a powerful speaker. And we want you guys to pay attention to what she has to say, and you can ask questions as well. The floor is gonna be open. She's gonna have you ask questions. Pastor, can you finish?
Yeah. All right, so Andina McCleary is from Yard of Jamaica, okay? She is from Augustown, little community in Kingston. She migrated to the United States as a young lady. Very humble beginnings, and she has been led to inspire many people in whom she has come in contact with. She is the CEO of Bent Not Broken, Inc., a domestic violence not-for-profit organization where the motto is turn your pain into power. In this role, she manages a team providing assistance, resources, and safe houses for women who are at risk, especially those who are victims of domestic violence. Andina is a family law attorney, so you get that, she's an attorney by profession, and she holds a bachelor's degree in criminal justice and security management and local and political science, which she obtained from Broward County or Community College, Stetson University of Law, and Grand Canyon University, respectively. Andina is no stranger to not-for-profit endeavors, having spent the last 4 years as a domestic violence advocate, motivational speaker, life coach, safe house owner, author, app developer, which she uses her time, resources, and talents to lead her team to be help for women who seek to rebuild their lives. Prior to starting Bent Not Broken, Inc., Andina was a supervisor of domestic violence, where her traumatic experiences inspired her to turn her pain into power and help those who face similar experiences and take back control of their lives. Her books, Bent Not Broken, Rebirth of a Domestic Violence Survivor, published on July 20, 2020, Masking Pain, Coping Strategies of a Domestic Violence Survivors, published in February 15, 2022, And this book, Raising a Daniel, How to Raise a Boy to a Man, published on February 26, 2023. She has since helped numerous individuals and shined a light on domestic violence awareness. If you need to contact her, she will let you know, but for now, you can think about this number, 929-331-0868. I'm sure she'll repeat that for you. That's 929-331-0868. And online, bentnotbroken.online@gmail.com, or you can go to www.bentnotbroken.org. So today, and Instagram, she's all over the world here. Hello. Instagram at Bent Not Broken Inc. Facebook, Bent Not Broken Inc. by Andina McCleary. Twitter, Bent Not Broken Inc. And YouTube, Bent Not Broken Inc. by Andina McCleary. And Anchor, Bent Not Broken Inc. Hey, I think anywhere you go, you'll find her. So listen, we're just happy. We're just happy to have her with us. We're honored. Redemption Praise Temple boasts of having the best by any test, and we accept nothing less. We're grateful for her presence. And so at this time, I'm going to ask her to come and speak to the wonderful people of Redemption Praise Temple. Thank you, Tonette, and it was a pleasure to follow up where you left off.
Good evening, everyone. Don't listen to all that old long scripture and just read. I'm Sarah. Yeah, I'm Sarah. All who know me as Sarah. And yes, I'm the founder of Bent Not Broken. And I started Bent Not Broken in 2020 from laying on my bed after being bashed in. And that's where we started. But let me go back. Bent Not Broken was the sort of the pigment of my imagination in 2028. How old is that again? 11, right? And I was 3 years old when it came to my mind. In 2018, I thought about it. It was like nothing, and it literally came to life. As a kid at 9 years old, I was molested by my stepfather. And with my mom, she left me and went to live with my stepdad. And it was just me being on my own ever since then. Fast forward to America at age 15, I really know I was struggling then, but I really know what struggling is all about at age 15 when I came to America. Living here in America is not easy when you are a teenager and you don't have that support system. I was abused verbally by family. I was lied on and the whole 9 yards. But that didn't really deter me from nothing. I grew up and I met my son's father and wasn't in love. But because my sister was brutally murdered, I needed a safety blanket. And my son's father, he was an attorney, he was my safety blanket. Abuse there was not really physical, it was more verbal. I thought after having a kid would be okay, but when I found out I was pregnant, I was 3 months, he didn't wanted my son. And it was my son or my marriage. So abortion was the only solution at the time. So got to the abortion clinic. Well, I went to my mother's house and she said to me, "You okay?" I said, yes. Dressed up for the gym, left to go to the gym. That's what she thought. Went to the abortion clinic. While I was at the abortion clinic, she called me and she said, "I know where you are." I said, "Where am I?" "I'm at the gym." She's like, "When you was leaving, the angel came in. And she said, "You're gonna have a little boy, and you're going to name him Daniel." No, all who knows that's my handbag. And I'm like, "What are you talking about? I'm not pregnant. I'm not gonna have no kid." And she said, "All right." Went in, was my turn, went in, drink the stuff, sit down, waiting for it to work in my system. My time, Daniel heartbeat still a one. All right, Daniel. So he said, drink some more. That I did. Sit and wait. Go back. Daniel heartbeat got stronger. So he said to me, my mother called me again and she said, he's not going to die. He's not going to die. And I'm like, you're so crazy. You was talking, you know, mess. And all of y'all know my mother here. Y'all talk, you talking crazy. I'm not pregnant. I am not pregnant. So he said to me, he gave me a pill and he said, well, now this was the Friday. He said, go home, come back on Monday. He's going to die by Monday. So excited now, I'm drinking, I'm living my life. Monday morning, got back to the abortion clinic. My mother said to me before I left, she said, Daniel is in your tummy like this. And you can't get rid of him. And I'm convincing her I'm not pregnant. All right, went back to the hospital, to the abortion clinic. Daniel's heartbeat even got stronger. And the doctor said he's not dead. I'm like, I know that. He said, okay, well, now we have to vacuum him out. And I said, let me look at him again on the monitor. When I look at little fetus, his little image was like this. And I'm like, but how is that possible? The little peanut at 3 or 4 months, he was like this. I'm like, how is that possible? Lo and behold, she called me. She said, I'm coming to where you are. Where am I, mommy? You're at the abortion clinic. She showed up and made a scene. Oh, yeah, who know my mother? She made a scene. She said, keep him. I'll raise him. After that, I went into the hospital. I was so sick. I was paralyzed on one side with Daniel and still trying to hide all of this from his father because my husband at the time didn't want no kids. And so I had Daniel 6 months. He was never in an incubator. He was perfect at 6 months. Perfect. Nothing, didn't need no nothing. He came out perfect. The doctor said he has never seen this before. Went home at my mom's for a while, then I went back to my husband's house. And that's when the first set of physical abuse started. And I remember the first time he hit me. I thought it was okay. It was just, I made him mad. I made him angry. He's gonna be okay. We're gonna work it out. And he got angrier. And I was like, there's a kid. I think maybe he's gonna change as Dennis getting older, no? I remember the last thing he dragged me from the second floor by my hair down to the first floor, kicked me in my back and spit on me. And he said, I told you to kill that bastard, but you didn't. And that was it. I packed up. My baby was probably like 3 months old. I packed up and I left from St. Petersburg to Coral Spring, Fort Lauderdale, because my mother had property in Fort Lauderdale. She packed up and she came down there. And we was there for a while. He found us. So New York was our option. This is when life started to turn downhill. Came to New York City, was in a hotel in Central Park living. And I remember went to bed and the voice said to me, go downstairs to the lobby and take out the money. I don't want to go downstairs. Go downstairs, take out the money. I don't want to go downstairs. So the next morning, I went downstairs. So when I stick the card in, contact your financial institution. I had no money. I have a 9-month-old. What am I going to do? The diapers is running low. There is no milk. I can't pay the hotel. I have no money. Now I'm homeless. I called up a friend and I said to her, I use the word friend, but she's actually a family member. Can I come and stay with you, till I figure things out? And she said, no, there is no room. Mind you, the apartment that she was living in was in my name. It's a family member. She had no papers, so I used my information to get the apartment. And we weren't welcome there. I remember getting on my knees at Port Authority, and I was like, please, just take my mother and my son and let me go figure life out and come back. Because I know I just need to clear my head and bounce back. But that wasn't the option. She said no. I called my best friend at the time, I thought, When she moved to America, I was the one who gave her money to move, to get her stuff going. So I'm like, okay, my friend is going to hold it down for me. She said, the landlord doesn't want any kids on the property. She said, I could give you $120 to go find a place to stay. I've never been to New York, so I don't know nowhere. I managed to go get the money from her. They directed me down to Manhattan. They gave me $120, and she said, take the train to Brooklyn. There are cheap hotels. No, guys, coming from living a my-town attorney, living a fancy life. Me no know nothing about a little free back motel. All me know is Marriott. And then little fancy something that when them serve a breakfast and all these kind of stuff. So I was on the train and I was so depressed, guys. I was crying, I was dirty. I was like losing my mind. I didn't know what to think. I started to just be like, this is all my fault. My mother gave up her job of 20 years to run to New York with me. We have nothing. And she was just, she was so contented. I felt like I failed. And while on the train, a lady sat next to me in a white coat clothing and burnt hair. And we were just having a conversation. And she said to me, call Safe Horizon. And she said it again. Now, you know what, if you ride a train, you know how the train do that little jerk. So the train did that and I did this. Came back up, there was no lady. So I turned to my mom, I said, Mommy, did you see the lady that was sitting here? She said, there was nobody sitting here. I said, Mommy, I'm tired, I'm not crazy. There was a lady right here. She said to call Safe Horizon. She said there was no lady. Guys, I know there was a lady. I spoke with the lady. She had on a white coat, white pants, and she had burned it here. I'm not stupid. All right, got off the train. I don't even know where we went, but I got off the train, saw this cab guy, and I said to him, I want to go to a hotel. And he said, you know how much your hotel? I'm like, I don't know, but just I need to go there. So he said, I said to him, I don't have but $120. That's all I have. And he said to me, but that can't go a hotel, miss. So he drove around and he said, furthermore, my fare is $70 if you drive up all alone. So now I'm saying to myself, if your fare is 70 and you said 120 can't get me in a hotel, then what am I going to do? He said, come in the car and don't worry yourself. I got in the car and he drove up to a hotel right under that bridge where I think it was next to the avenue. There's a little motel inn right there, right under the bridge. I said, me not go there, sir. In Florida, that's a sex motel. I would never ever be caught in that. Because when I'm in Florida, I'm a white girl trapped in a black girl body. I wear nothing but heels, liposuction. I had it going on. I was my own attorney. What you think? He said, all right, guys, we drove around for an hour and 20 minutes. And we ended up right back at the hotel in Schenectady Avenue. Got out, got in. Lady charged me $120 for the night. The taxi driver said, don't worry about it. We went in, couldn't sleep. Mommy went to sleep, then I went to sleep, and I'm just there thinking, what is next? Came downstairs, met this man by the name of Chief. And I'm talking to Chief, and he said to me, call Safe Horizon. No, guys, this time I don't have no phone because my ex-husband had cut the phone off completely. I had nothing. My son was starting to wear my pads as his diapers because that's how bad I was at the time. Nothing to eat. So Chief said to me, all right, he gave me his phone and he said, call whoever, Safe Horizon, call whoever you want to call and I'm going to come back. And he said, here, walk down to the little plaza, is a Golden Crust. And he said, go get mommy and your son something to eat. We went and got porridge. I gave them patties and they was eating. I couldn't eat. 3 hours come, almost checkout time. Still know the guy didn't come back for him phone. So I'm like to think like, okay. Probably after I called Safe Horizon, they give me information. They said to go to Path. Guys, where the heck? I don't even know what is Path. What is Path? How do I get to Path? I have no money. Chief came back and I told him what they said to me. So Chief took us to the train station, bought us a Metro Pass, a 1 week Metro Pass, so one for me, one for mommy, and he gave us $40 a piece. And he said, I wish I had my own place. I would have taken you guys in. I took his number and we got to Path. We got off and we asked questions and we got to Path. When we got to Path, guys, we was there for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. I was embarrassed. But I couldn't cry. I never prayed. I never talked to God during those moments because I just felt like really, God, you took me from here to zero. Like, are you serious? You didn't even warn me or nothing. So I was so angry. I was bitter. And everybody was getting calls. We wasn't getting calls. And then one girl, she said, if you don't get called, you got to go to somewhere and you got to come back to do it all over again. It was a Friday night. It was like sun had set, and there comes Miss Joseph. She called us and we all went in and she said, your name keep popping up and I keep putting it off. She said, I never worked this late on a Friday. I'm a Seventh-day Adventist. And she said, I'm gonna put you somewhere where you're permanent, where you don't have to come back or nothing. I'm like, for real? She's like, yeah. She said, when you walk in here, there's an angel that comes in here with you. She said, you are destined for great things. I don't want you to be in the church. She said, you need to go back to church. I said, me, I was never in church. Guys, I grew up in Augustine, Seventh-day Adventist Church. Active Pathfinder, singing choir, do the 9 works. Pastor Shane Francis and I grew up together. We went to LaGuardia Family Inn on Ditmars. And I thought life was just, when we got in, my mother laid in the bed, my son laid there, and I stand there and I contemplate suicide. I said, if I give my mother one stab, she's gonna go. But I can't stab my baby because he's gonna suffer. So I'm gonna smother him first, and then stab him after. So at least when I do, he's already dead. He won't feel the pain. Guys, I'm being real. It's all in my books. I'm not sugarcoating nothing. So when I turn around to take up the knife, I was in room 380 at LaGuardia Family Shelter on Dick Morris. When I took up the knife, a light came through the window and the image stand in front of me. And he said to me, "What are you doing?" He said, "I never give you a spirit of fear, but a spirit of a sound mind." He said, "Give me a chance. I'm not going to promise you peaches and cream, but I'm going to make it a little better for you." And guys, I felt when something just held me. And the hell that it held me, I felt secure. And I remember I went into the bathroom. I didn't even cry. I bawled. I'm surprised nobody heard me. I was wailing. That was the Friday mid-morning. Sabbath was coming down. And I remember I got on my phone and I looked for a church to go, and I found Corona Seventh-day Adventist Church. And that morning, I went to church, to Corona. I got on the bus. I didn't know where I was going, but I went. I saw a lady on the bus, and I asked her, and she took me there. And though I met with good faith, I had bitter taste. I'm no longer attending Corona. I had bitter taste. Fast forward to meeting my high school sweetheart, and we got married again. And the abuse started. This time wasn't verbal. This time was literally no talking, just straight down fist-to-fist blows. And I remember I was pregnant, and the last beat down, mind you, I'm an attorney in a prominent job now. I'm from the best law firm here in Long Island. I met him, I was already established. I was doing my advocacy and all of that. I was doing really good. Mommy got sick. I went into a coma. Life just it's like it just hit me like that. I was knocked off my feet. Like, really now, God, what more can I do? She was in a coma. I had to take her off the life support. And my son, he said, "Mommy, don't take her off. Give God one more chance." I prayed for her already. And I'm trying to tell him what is going on, but he's like, he don't understand. He was 4. Come on now. What do you know about talking to God and praying, all of that? And when I stretched to pull the plug, she opened her eyes. And the first thing she mumbled, "Where is Danielle?" She didn't know who I was for months, 4 or 5 months. I was her aide, but she knew who Danielle was. She was introducing my own nephew to me. Well, that's my aide. She takes perfectly good care of me. She comes every day and she feeds me. It didn't hurt that she was sick. If everybody who knows me and my mother coming to church, we're a duo. You don't see her without me, you don't see me without her. It never hurt me that she was sick. It hurt me she didn't know who I was. I could deal with the ailment. My mind couldn't understand her not knowing who I was. Got married, she came home, got married, and this guy was everything you need. Him wash, him cook, him clean, take care of my mother, carry my baby go to school, pick him up from the school bus, drive me go to work. Then what more could I ask for? It was a perfect combination. Now I just bought my house, have my car. I'm living the American dream that I left is now happening in New York after so many years. That was a lie. I seen the signs. Guys, I'm a family law attorney. That's what I do for a living. I go to court and run my mouth and get domestic violence restraining orders. But you see, when domestic violence is in your house, it's a different ball game. And I often tell people, don't say that can't happen to me. That's not an accurate statement, because in the twinkling of an eye, things change. I never knew he was like that. He was perfect. When I say perfect, perfect. Got married, I'm going to give him his green card. Everything was all planned out. Everything was planned out until the abuse started. First, me can't go to church. This is start Miss Church has walked in. No, I had a friend in Corona Church. I loved him. He was my good friend. And when I went to church battered, I needed my church's help. Little help. They ridiculed me. They talked about me. I was a laughing stock. I was a talk about. I was the outcast. And I remember one Sabbath, I went to church. Because during all of this, when I stopped going, my baby got to go to church. He didn't know no other days of the week, but he knew when Sabbath came. I didn't know how he did that. He didn't know Monday. He didn't even know what day to go to school. But as soon as Sabbath comes on, he was ready and prepared for church. I remembered one Sabbath I came home after 10 in the night, and he was standing outside on the front porch with his arm folded. No, guys, I live in Laurelton. I'm the youngest homeowner over there. Everybody are seasonal, all 50 years, 40 years. Quiet, prestige, upscale neighborhood. Nobody no walk. So just imagine that my house is the loudest house on the block. And he was standing outside on the porch, like my heart sunk. I'm looking at my friend like, please, in my mind, I'm like, I hope you're reading the body language. Please don't leave me. Just take me somewhere, anywhere. Drive around the block, let him cool off. He let me off. And guys, when I touched the gate, I felt my soul just left my body. When I get to the step, the first thing is a sucker punch right in my face. I only have 40% of sight in one of my eyes. It was a sucker punch, and my baby was just screaming, and I went inside the house, and he was on top of his lungs. And I remember calling my friend on the phone while he's in the background just going on and on. And I said to him, could you please come and take Daniel? Guys, let me tell you about ACS. I wasn't prepared to lose my only kid. Once there are domestic violence cases in your household, ACS is going to take your child. And that was something I wasn't to bargain for. When it comes to my son, I go to war with the whole world. I'm like, please. He's like, no, I'm not coming over there. I'm like, please. I will walk down to the corner and give you my baby. Take him to this other lady, I call her auntie. Take him to her house. No, guys, I'm calling her. She's listening. Or when her voice note mail kicks in, she was listening. Her answering machine. And she never answered. Then she called me. She's like, oh, I'm afraid to take you over here because he knows. And I'm like, okay, fine. Guys, I went up into my son's room and I barricaded the door. And that's how my baby was trembling. He was peeing on himself. And he was just that. Moving on. Still living life, pregnant, going to work. Still gotta do what I gotta do. Mommy's back in the hospital. My house is falling apart. My son is at Success Academy. Now, if y'all know Success Academy, one of the worst schools to ever play with certain things. Success Academy called me. It's a good thing I was good friends with the principal because I was the PTA president. And she called me and she said, Miss McCleary, Daniel is here crying, and he said he wants to come home to save his mommy because his daddy beats on his mommy. And being as I know who you are, the strong will, strong power person, I said that can never happen. It's the other way around. She's beating on him. I didn't make it, no. We were just playing, and we were wrestling. We wasn't fighting, and then it got out of context. Mind you, I'm in my office, killing my face with makeup, trying to hide the whole scar, the bumps on my head, the bruises. I remember my boss came to me one day and he said, when you're ready to talk, my office is next to your office. And I said to Elliot, Elliot, I'm fine. I'm good. He said, all right. Then he turned to me and he said, you're my best domestic violence advocate attorney in this office. That's all I'm saying. Whatever. No, he just show up. Now he get to the point. He's shows up at work. Because sometimes I have to work late. He shows up at work and he makes scenes. Yes, he makes some big scenes, nasty scenes, nasty. I mean, go on bad, galang bad. I'm embarrassed. And I'm the only Black girl in my law office. Do the math. I am the only dark chocolate in my law office. Do the math. I used to be embarrassed to go to work. Remember one day I looked in my account. Guys, I don't know how I went from $150,000 to negative $20. I don't know. I couldn't tell what he bought. There was nothing to show. Christmas, then a birthday come, couldn't buy him a gift. Christmas is right after his birthday. Nothing. I was calling my niece, the same one who couldn't put me up, to beg her $20. And listen, the whole world knew. And I said to her, it's not for me. It's to buy some Popeye so Daniel can eat. And she said, you should have made better choices with your money. You should have bet. But I had money from my divorce from Daniel's father, but I had put it up in stocks and CDs. So basically, I didn't have no money. And I remember that Sunday morning, he got up and he said, I want some money. And I said, I don't have none. And he said, you have money because I find where you hide the bank statements. And guys, I remember vividly the Sunday because my hallway is long, my bedroom, the spare bedroom, Daniel's bedroom, the bathroom, the hallway to the kitchen. And I was coming through my bedroom to the hall to go to the kitchen. And the only thing I remember is when they throw water and wake me up. And I could hear my baby saying, Mommy, please don't die. If you die, who's gonna take care of me? That's what I heard it. I heard it big, and I was bleeding everywhere. I bust up in the face. Mind you, I'm pregnant now, guys. And I remember I called my friend and I said, Trisha, where are you? When I got up, she said, I'm on my way to your house. I'm like, please just run the stoplight. I'll pay the tickets. Just get to the house. I'm bleeding really. When she get there, he was on the phone with his cousin. She's a nurse. I didn't go to the hospital. Oh, Sarah, you should have gone to the hospital. You're stupid. I get a lot from my speaking engagement. You caused yourself to lose a child. No, I didn't care about being pregnant anymore. because now I hate your child that's inside of me. I want nothing to do with your child. I could have cared less. But when I turn around and look, I saw my heart standing there. Now, in my mind, if I go to the hospital, AC is going to take the only reason why I'm living. What am I going to do? Not going to get him back that easy. So the cousin said, give her a Tylenol. It was going to ease the pain. Now, guys, I can't stand up. I'm in pain all over, just bleeding. Went to bed. Christmas Eve comes, and I remember a sharp pain just hit me like, and I remember screaming. And I grabbed onto him, and he said, what's wrong? I'm like, nothing. And December 31st, I said to him, I realized that I was turning black. I said, I got to go to the hospital. And he said, I don't care. I called my friend and said, could you take Daniel for a few days? Because I'm going to the hospital and I don't know what's going to happen. And I said to her, if anything happens, Daniel was with you for the last 2 weeks. Guys, I'm an attorney. I know how to cover things. We get paid to do that. Crush that off the record. I didn't say that out loud. But I know how to cover things. That's what we get paid for, right? I said 2 weeks he's been in your house. So because I know when I get to the hospital and the question is going to come in, the police is going to get involved, and AC is going to get involved, and I'm going to lose my kid. I came home. I had total placental abruption. The baby was dead. I had to push out the dead baby and all of that. I didn't hurt, didn't feel nothing. I was numb. I didn't care. I didn't care. That's what I convinced myself. I did not care. I don't care. I went home. He left. He came back. February 20th, he gave me the ultimate beatdown. When I say the ultimate beatdown, I was coming in from work. And as I opened the door, he used his two hands with his ring and he sucker punched me right here. The only thing I remember was going down. And then going down, I catch myself. By the time I look, he was coming with the pot. And when he hit I did like this to shield my head. If you look at one of my hands, one is actually bigger than one because the bone was actually set in another way. My son was like, please, please don't kill my mommy. Don't kill my mommy. Please don't do that. And I said to myself, this is it. This is it. What am I doing to myself? My church that I needed to help me turned their back. They turned their back because Adventists don't have a domestic violence action plan in place. No, they do not. Guys, don't mind my rag, it's a whole bunch of makeup. Domestic Adventists have a lot of domestic violence issues going on. Their way of dealing with this is let us pray. They don't want to address the situation at hand. So what do? I isolated myself from church. I hated church. I hated everything that I do with church. I felt like, God, you did this. You allowed this to happen to me. You allowed me to be the church didn't help me. Why would you send me there? How could you be so cruel? Why would you do this to me? How could you? And I had a lot of questions for God. I was like, I didn't want you to tell, I don't want to hear, I didn't want you to talk to me no more. And I was just in a world of depression. March 20th, I packed. He left to his aunt's house. And I was sitting in there and I don't know what came over me. My boss called me. Elliot said, I'm gonna talk to you as a father. He said, you're better than that. He's a Jew, you're worth more than that. He said, when I see you coming battered it hurts me as a father because you are my daughter. And I would never allow a man to hit my daughter. He said, I can't fight your battle, but I can. He said, I don't need to give you no tools. You have the tools. You are my best in my office. Use your tools. He said, use the tools that you, the same way you go to court and defend those victims, pretend you're defending somebody else and defend yourself. Guy, you see when me hang up, because he done mash the car up now, you know. Me not have no vehicle, him pick it up and he mash up my BMW, so I'm stranded. So he thought, I called my Uber. I said, I need to go to Home Depot. I changed the locks. And I guess my mom said, use the nail and jam all the windows so you can't lift it up. So I did. March 20, he came back to the house with his friend. He wants to come in. Nope, hold on. You embarrassed me in front of the whole neighbors. When I tried to escape the house, you run in the middle of the street and you kicked me and you took your belt off and you beat me like I was your daughter. And you punched me in my face and left me blind. Fine. Now I'm gonna embarrass you back. Stay right there. And I literally took all his stuff. Now I'm talking loud. So I want everybody on the block to come out now. So I just throw everything out on the lawn. And guys, I can't even tell the choice words that I had for him. I threw him out there. And I videoed it. And because it was my phone he was using, I snatched back the number and I put it on his WhatsApp for all his friends to see his glory. Yes, I sure did. Was I happy? Did that soothe the wound? Did that make me feel complete? Did that solve anything? My baby was so mad at me. He said, see now, mommy, I don't have a dad anymore. All you had to do was just listen to me, mommy. Just come in my room and let him cool off. You want to go with him? I mean, sure, you out there too. He said, man, but I'm not going to have nowhere to go. I said, okay, well, be quiet. And guys, I fell into a deep, deep depression. I covered the mirrors. I didn't want to get up. Suicide come to my head again. There goes suicide thoughts again. And I planned the suicide perfectly well. And I remember the little voice. He said, God, help my mommy to be happy again. He said, help my mommy to smile. Help my mommy to forgive my dad. His little voice. Lo and behold, COVID struck, so me and him locked in the house. I'm in depression. I'm not showering. I'm not doing nothing. And I remember when June 6th come about, and he said to me, Mommy, it's gonna be okay, because I already prayed, and God said, it's going to be okay. Don't you me love ball? Start ball again. Start ball again. My ball, no, it's a different kind of crying now. And I rolled over, and Ben that broken ink was born. Through all my ups and downs of being abused, from my stepdad, family, to my first husband, to my second husband, I've been bent all the way down, but somehow God was that cushion for me not to be broken. Did I notice at the time? No. Was I angry with God? Yes. Guys, I couldn't bear on. My son was missing online classes. It was just so much. And I was isolated from family members. So one day my aunt called and she said, we haven't talked in years. And she said to me, you know, this morning me I pray for you. I'm like, why would you? God don't know my name. God never look at my issue. She said, I want to come to America, you know. but I'm not going to come. I can't come because I want to finish my house and I don't want to use that money. So I said, how much to finish your house? Guys, she said $30,000. I said, 30,000 Jamaican dollar. Man, in a heartbeat. I said, so I called my cousin. I was like, why? Your mother said it's 33, it's 30. She's like, no, it's 300,000. I said, all right, I'll make you a deal. If you come to America, chill with me, I'll fix the house. She said yes. But she didn't understand that I needed you at the time. Guys, when she came, it was like God himself came. It was a breath of fresh air. She took off all the black sheets of the mirror. She opened up the window. She cleaned the house. She cooked. She worshiped. She did everything. She let me find my love for God again. In 3 months, she did that. And then my son was so combative still. He hated me. Even it's in his book, because I wrote a book for him. It's in his book, and he had his own little part in the book. He hated me because he said I brought a monster in his life. Where was the church when I kept calling my friend, but my friend said he doesn't want to be a part of it. You know how the church is. I should work it out, and I should do all of that. And Ben Not Broken formed in June 6, 2020. I started off with the book. Vivian Cook, if you know who she is, the Assemblywoman for South Jamaica. I met her on a rally, and we became a little talk here and there. And I remember one day I picked that same day after I wrote the book, I called her and I said to her, I was crying, and she talked to me, we were talking, and she said to me, in Albany, they're trying to build up communities up there. It's called the Albany Land Bank. And she said, to buy properties. And I had some money, but I pulled out one of the seed prematurely, and I only get a little bit of what I put in. And I took it and I bought 3 properties up in Albany for little and nothing, and I fixed it up. And then the Ben Not Broken Safe Houses was birthed. Now, I had to find my way back to God now, because now you was there all along. I was just so angry, I couldn't see you all along. Because it don't matter how I go down, you cushion me from falling to breaking to pieces. And I remember he said to me, turn your pain into power. That's why I always tell people, don't come tell me that God give you no message for me. Me and God are in a no malice. And you and God are no more friend than me and God. And God now I assistant. So don't tell me that.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Don't come tell me that God tell you nothing, because He's gonna tell me, because we talk, we fight, we wrestle, we roll. So I know what God is gonna tell me, and I listen. I might not do it right there and then. I gotta go through the chastisement, but I do it after when I please myself. But I say this to say that. Sometimes God put us in situations not for outsiders to help us to get the glory, but for us to lean on Him so that He will shine through you. Now, when you enter my safe house, I have 3 upstate New York, and I'm opening up a 4th one in Rockaway. When you enter my safe house, there's a policy that you must. But now ask you, you must. If you don't want to, you have to leave. It was an uphill struggle with the city, but God was good to me. I got it. On Friday evening, when the sun set, there is a no movement activity until sunset on Saturday evening. You don't like it? Do not come there. That's just what it is. God has done too much for me not to include Him in my business. God has done so much. So every morning we have worship. And I make sure I do the worship. So you have no reason to tell me that Tom never come for worship because Tom was it. I get every morning at 5. When I'm in Queens, I zoom it in. So you can't give me no reason. I just order quarterly to take up there when I go up. I'm not forcing my religion on you, but you sign to it. You should have read the fine print. That's what I was taught in law school, right? Read the fine print. But since you don't read the fine print, you sign to it, and you have to do it, or else you got to leave. You have to leave. My son is in a great place. He attends the Kingsway High School, prep school in Jamaica. He's entering high school in September at age 11. He got baptized. Wasn't my choice. Thought he was too young, and he said, "Mommy, God said, Daniel, it's time." I said, "What you mean?" He said, "Mommy, when you was going through the crying, I said, God, if you help Mommy, I'm going to be a student for you." And when I watched my baby at the age of 10, this watered me up every time I talk about it. And when he came back up, he was praise dancing. Because I remember telling him, "No, you can't, you're too young." And he said to me, "Mommy, whether you like it or not, I am going to get baptized." He was 10 years old. I wasn't happy with the decision at the time, but I remember my mother, she said to me, "Remember when he was in your belly, what did you promise God?" I said, "God, if you made him live, I'll give him back to you." And I did, but I never tell God when never give him back. And the thing about us, we bargain with God a lot. And when God upheld his end of the bargain, we walk away from our part of the bargain. And that's not good. Because God is going to do, he's a man, he will never lie. If he said he's going to give it to you, you're going to get it. It's not on your term, it's on God's term. I'm now a certified life coach, a motivational speaker, and all that stuff. Why do you do all these stuff, Sarah? If I could help one person, I'm okay. Let me tell you something about domestic violence, guys. Well, let's not classify only domestic violence. Let's say abuse. Abuse is not hitting only. That's what people think, that abuse is only hitting. Abuse is not hitting. Abuse is not hitting. Abuse is isolation, restriction, grabbing, pushing, control. It comes, and I can tell everybody, 90% of domestic violence starts from financial. Because some man is threatened by a woman who has certain power. Should I use power? Yeah, I like that word. Most men, in my marriage, my husband felt, because I was the breadwinner, he felt threatened because he had to ask me for money. And he didn't like that. He just want to go spend, and don't even consider that I had a child. He didn't care about that. How did you get back to church? I'm not a member of any church. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Why? Have I forgiven the members in Corona? No, I haven't. Am I struggling with it? No. No, I haven't. Why? But I get to realize that in my church, there's a lot of domestic violence issues that's going on, and it's being brush. You see what I'm saying? And I've been to many Sunday churches, and they have a domestic violence team in play. I've been to different Adventist church. Why don't we have a domestic violence team in play? When are we going to acknowledge that domestic violence is not a pigment of our imagination? It's real. Domestic violence is real. Statistics shows New York alone get 10,000 calls on a day because I have a domestic violence hotline. We get at least 10,000 calls a day. How many calls can we answer? 1,050. What happened to the rest? What happened to the rest? No, guys. It may not be you, but we have a friend, a know of a friend, a family member who is going through domestic violence. Not gonna say you must push up yourself. Stay close. We don't need you to be judgmental. And this is why sometimes the victims don't say nothing, because we become the victims, like victim all over again, because we are being judged. And people be very, very judgmental. Oh, you're a fault. Shut up, you don't know nothing. It's not our fault. It's not our fault for a man to hit me. Men go through domestic violence too. I have a men's shelter. I am not gender biased. No, I am not gender biased. I have a male, I have 2 female and a male shelter separately. One in Troy, and one in Schenectady, and one in Albany. We are men. Society has taught men not to speak about certain things because they're going to be labeled. No go so. Lie. It's okay to say, I have been abused. It's okay. And most men are abused sexually. They don't get hit. They don't get hit. Sorry, guys. That's my son. Me put him phone per room. And this month his phone bill is 300 and something. So he's trying to apologize and asking me if he's still going to get to go on a date tomorrow. So I apologize. Men get abused sexually. I had a friend of mine, he's a part of my organization, and he said to me, he did not know that the woman who was doing that to him, it was abuse. So I said, what you thinking? He said, back in Jamaica, when you could pick in a woman and sex with your girl did. No, it's abuse. Talk to your little kids, talk to your daughters. I like certain things about what it is. How can I notice domestic violence? When you have a bubbly friend, you realize that she stopped being bubbly. When the time hot, she have a long sleeve. She's not coming around anymore. You can't get her on her phone too, she's not texting, she's not talking, pop up. Your mere existence is what she needs. If you don't have anything good to say, shut your mouth. Just give us that shoulder. Me, when I came up publicly, I was talked about so bad. It wasn't for fame, and it's not for fame. And I tell everybody, Mr. Listen, God, Mr. This advocate thing, I never knew it was going to be this. God opened doors that nobody can shut. God will qualify you for things that you will never know you're going to be qualified for. When me and put on my ears and man, check it out, walk up, United Nations, talk to me nice. Talk to me nice. I've never dreamed of going to help make new domestic violence laws for the whole state of New York. Would I ever dream of that? Would the mayor acknowledge Ben not broken with a big old plaque? Never dreamed of that. Would the assemblyman ask me if I would consider running for assemblywoman for South Jamaica? God opened doors that nobody can shut. And God, like I tell people, if God bring you to it, He's gonna bring you. It might not be how you want to go through it, but just enjoy the rocky ride. Just hold on. Hold on, because it's gonna get better. it's gonna get better. Guys, I'm telling you about hiding my pain. My other book is called Masking Pain. When I masked my pain, nobody knew I was hurting so much. Even though I was doing so much, when I go home, I crash. I was still angry. I was hurting. I'm going home to the same house the abuse happening. I remember one night, after I drank a whole bottle of wine, the pain never numbed. The pain was still there. So I drew off another one. And when I reached halfway the bottle, I felt when somebody just punched me straight in my gut and I start vomit. Because I was losing my consciousness now. And I sat there and I said, God, me not ramp with you, you know. And my son said, Mama, we are talking to? I said, never mind. He said, God, me not ramp with you, you know. Leave me, let me die. Because this pain is too much for me to carry. And right there, Masking Pain was birthed. It was birthed. We host a gala. We host different events. I adopted a local shelter here. My shelter that I was at, that's my baby. I adopted that shelter. We do back to school. We do Mother's Day brunch. We do Christmas. And I also do on my personal shelter the same thing. I'm opening up a resource center. And it's going to be a liaison between me and them in the city. Guys, when you enter the shelter the system don't teach you how to stay away from your abusers. It doesn't. So most time, we ended up back with our abusers because we do not know how to function outside of that life. So what Ben Not Broken gonna offer? I'm a teacher, I'm gonna give you financial resources, how to stay away. Not everybody's as tough as I am. Don't let this toughness fool you, because I have days. Last week I was going through something and I spent $2,500 in shopping. When the boxes pile up with shoes is my fetish, guys, and my hair. So when the shoes got piling up, I realized I was in trouble. I had to affirm myself again. Hey, hold on, you're slipping. Catch myself again. What are we going to offer? Resources to teach you how to get out and stay away. You're going to have financial classes. You're going to have resume building classes. You're going to have basic computer classes. You're going to have GED classes. We're going to have little braiding skill classes. Eyebrow, any little thing to teach you how to make $1 for yourself. Because I said, abuse merely based on finances, right? So if I can implement these stuff, is domestic violence going to be eradicated? No. But at least a woman will understand, I need this in place. And guys, lastly, before I take any questions you guys have, if you're in a domestic violence or anybody you know, get out. You don't force it on them, because listen, we're going to go back until we are ready to leave. But you see, the children, they suffers. I did not know my son was hurting that bad until I read the book, Raising a Daniel, How to Raise a Boy to a Real Man. When I read what he said, I was hurt. You know what he said? He said, I started to forgive my mom when she told me she was sorry. He said, I hated my mother. No, that's like a dagger. So the children suffers. And then the children patterns what they see. Your daughters date the kind of men that she see you date. Because she don't know no better. She don't know no better. Then she come in and see that you are okay with your father or your boyfriend bash you in, she's gonna think it's okay for her to do the same thing. No, your son is gonna think it's okay for him to hit a woman. No, my son is the opposite. My son saw the man fighting his girlfriend in Jamaica, run go for the Austrian knife, cause him gonna stab him. And he said, Mommy, I couldn't protect you, but I'm gonna protect her. I had to quick call back his therapist. Hey, Daniel is not doing too good. But guys, it's okay to sit down and have a relationship with your children. Teach them the different steps and stages of abuse. Let your children know it's okay to come to you and have any kind of conversation. My son does. My son tells me everything. I'm like, ew. I mean, Mom, it's like, okay. At 11, he tells me, hey, he just tell Mommy, I'm going to high school. I'm entering puberty. I'm like, what is puberty? I don't know, but I'm entering anyways. You understand what I'm saying? We have that bond. And he could know when I'm going through something. He called me. He said, Mommy, why are you sad? I said, I'm not sad. He's like, Mommy, I hear it in your voice. You're crying. He said, what's wrong? I said, nothing. He said, Mommy, he said, whatever it is going to be okay. And that gave me one more reason to move on. Now, Pastor, your church could make a difference. I will help you in any way you can. The church needs to have a domestic violence resource team. Why can't Adventists have one of those? I've been to many Sunday church for speaking gigs, and trust me, when I go to the city for meetings at the city, because there's a team of us who goes to the city to help with certain things. And when I look at the Catholic Church there, the Pentecostal there, the Church of God there, and what did I say? I can't even say it. Guys, remember, I only have one eye, you know, so they can't write so small. If I write big, I can't both see.
There's no representative for the Adventist church there.
Huh? Would I represent for the Adventist church?
No, I'm saying you say you see the Catholic Church and all these other denomination, they have someone present there, but there's no one from the Adventist church present there.
No, there was nobody. That was so embarrassed. Cause you know, when I walk up in them, my board, oh, I'm a dinner, I'm a Seventh-day Adventist. Oh, I'm proud to say it. When I look around, I feel embarrassed. I'm still in therapy. It's never an ending battle with the therapy because independence, okay. You always gonna have relapse days. Always. Because when the day is over from all the ripping and running around, and you go home, you crash. How am I doing? Now, I sold my house in Laurelton. I had to. I had to. Me 8 BMW, me no want none. I had to. Because I had to heal. And let me tell you something, guys. You see the word forgiveness? It means a lot. In order for me to move on, I had to make peace with my ex-husband. I was a bigger woman. I called him one day and I said to him, because he used to call me and he said to me, you're so quick for divorce me. You never fight for your marriage. I said, sir, me fight so much in my marriage, me figure over 5 feet. Yes, me fight too much in my marriage. I don't even know how to fight for my marriage. And I said to him, if I offended you, in any way in our marriage, I am sorry. And if I did something to make you hit me, I am sorry. And please know, I have forgiven you. Forgiveness is not for him, it's for me. Because when I did that, I was able to move on, sold the house, cut ties. I even sell it for less than what it was. Listen, I didn't keep, if somebody did beg it for free, I would have given it away. I lost my daughter in that house. I lost my eyes in that house. I lost my identity in that house, and I had to step out of the house to regain myself. So I got rid of the house. I did. I have a nice 8-bedroom house in Albany. I love it, man. Everything in the gym. I don't mean to use it, but gym in there. And I love it, man. I love it. I love it, love it, love it, love it. I have a white room. I bring my dream to life. I also have an apartment on Sufton. So when I'm in town, which I'm not normally often in town, I'm on Sufton. Ben Not Broken is on every platform. Every Thursday, we have therapy session on Instagram. We also do podcasts. We do life coaching stuff. And we do different little stuff. We have our group therapy privately on Zoom. We do other little things. We have brunches, we have sip and paint, and this year we're going to have a gala. We're going to have a domestic violence gala in October. Why? I tell everybody, I don't wait on nobody to celebrate me. I celebrate myself. Ladies, we all go through something. Don't wait on nobody to come and celebrate you. If you earn one little thing today, celebrate yourself. Don't overdo it like me, because I have no self-control to come out to buy shoes. But celebrate yourself. Me, I celebrate myself. Every milestone I accomplished, I celebrate. I tell myself, you are worthy. Look at all these things you've accomplished. I don't do nothing to be boastful and brag about. Like I said, if my mission is to help one person, I'm okay with that. But if we be quiet, things never get fixed. When we go to the meetings, the mayor said, I look forward to seeing you. I said, why? He said, you're the only one in here with the big mouth. I said, it's a good thing or a bad thing. He said, the city needs you for that. Domestic violence is not even domestic violence, abuse is very dear to my heart. When I say it's dear to my heart, it's dear to my heart. I've been sexually abused. I was 9 and I've been battered twice. So I take it very, very personal. I have a passion for advocating for domestic violence. We are in the process of developing an app, a domestic violence app, where it will alert the city, the police department, what is going on in your house without your spouse know. It's a pin push. One push, it opens your camera, it opens your mic, it sends your location. Cost me an arm and a leg. But the contract that I got with the city for that makes me so happy. What? I'm very rich. Because I say that first? First I said sorry because I said that first. No, you call it multi-million rich. Is that money for? What are you going to do with that money? I'm going to take Ben Not Broken into every state in this country. I just got back from Atlanta, 2:40 today. And me tell Tony Sam other town, she said, you're going to make it again, you're not going to tired. I said, Tony, I do this. Last week I left California. By the time I left California, I was in North Carolina. From North Carolina, I didn't get no sleep. I was in Florida the next 2 days. Why? somebody has to get the job done. And when I go, I take the name of Jesus with me. Why do that? I'm a living testimony. I was left for dead. But through what I went through, God cushioned me from being broken. So because of that, I must tell somebody that God will take you through, no matter how dim the light seems. You don't have to have a whole conversation with God. Just the Lord help me. And watch out, he's like Flash. What? And it happens. It happens. Me know for myself. I remember days I was hungry. My husband gone with the water. Couple water me carry my bag and me gone. I put baby hungry like dog. But God always sends somebody with something. That's enough for me. If there's any questions, feel free. Go ahead.
Hi, good evening. I want to say thank you for coming and sharing your story with us.
Hold on, wait, hold on 1 second. This lady right here had her hand up. So let her say what she had to say, and then I'm going to come back to you, all right?
All right.
Go ahead.
My question is, you're saying that as a church, we don't have a program. So have you ever approached the conference as to setting up something, especially with our new women's ministry here?
My assistant, good question. My assistant, I already dictated the letter, and she's going to put it together, and that's my next move. But I have to literally schedule it in because I'm going to be in Washington for the next 2 months on this domestic violence act, because the FBI wants to check it out to make sure because they say it's a gold mine. So hopefully the conferences will allow me to come in, because when it comes to Adventists and certain things, it's a tippy toe. It's a tippy toe.
They have an End It Now program. They have that in May. They have it all over. So I don't think it would be a stretch for us to start something.
And that's a good. Now, like I said, I've already dictated the note, the letter. I'm just waiting for my assistant to put it together for me to sign it and send it out. Have I called the conference? Northeastern? Yes, I have. When Dr. Honore was there, we had a good relationship. God may he rest in peace, and he was going to pass it on, and it went dead. So I don't know. Pastor Jules and I used to play Bible ball. So I really have, friends over there, Pastor Brown and all. I really have friends over there. So I'm just rerouting, because I don't want to take on more than what I can chew right now. I'm in the process of training I bumped her up from assistant and give her a lot more responsibilities, because I see she's well trained now. So if they give us an okay, I'm gonna push on her out there to go represent the company and bring it into the church. She's more of an Adventist than I am, because I do drink wine. Go ahead with your question. It was Winterland.
Oh,
No, it was that one right here, Winterland.
again, like I was saying, thank you for sharing your story with us. Okay, so in working with high school, you see more and more high school girls who are being abused. Does your company have a plan set up for them, or is it the same plan that the older women will participate in?
No, I just mentioned that I just now got in order to go into the DOE, you got to have a DOE passport. It's called a passport. I just got mine on Wednesday. So in that way, I do have other people that I another people that we kind of talk to, not already in, but for bed not broken, we are not in it yet. I just got the approval to go in. So that's my next move. But like for right now, I'm working on the app because the city gave me a deadline to have the app out there. And I'm fast approaching the deadline, and I haven't even made it to Washington yet.
All right, so thank you. So my next question also too, before you move on to the next person. All right, so I hear you encourage our pastor, to start up, a team within our church. How do we start that?
Any resources the pastor need, I will give it to him when he's ready. Would I leave you high and dry? No, I would not. Would I? Would I be there to train you guys and different things? Yes, I would. Would I bring in my social worker, my team? Yes, I would. I have a whole team. I have my licensed social worker. I have a lawyer in fact, because I can't represent my own company. So I have everything on team. So when a pastor have my number, and Tonnet know how to find me. Me and Tonnet, we are friends in all social media. So we talk. Yes, she my girl. So funny because when I actually had an engagement today. I was supposed to stay in Georgia until Monday. So no, when I text Tonnet, I was praying. She said, "Pastor, change your mind." But Tonnet said, "Yes, everything is in clear." No. Oh, Delaware, no. October is the National Domestic Violence Awareness Month. No. Okay, so nationwide, October is National Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Every organization do their own thing. For my summer, I have a crazy summer. Why? Because I have a lot of rallies. Because the Assemblyman Khalid Anderson and I, and Savina Brook Powers, we always organize and we do that because they do Rockaway, and where I sit is considered part of their stuff. So most of my rally goes that way for October. But April is Sexual Awareness Month. March is Her Stories Month. February is Teen Dating Violence Month. So it's different months. And when you guys are ready, I will come in, I will teach you the different month because we are part of the National Domestic Violence Coalition and also part of the New York Domestic Violence Coalition. So we are always up to date on everything. We also have immigration attorneys on board. I try to make friends with everybody to bring them in. I rope them in on the team because at the end of the day we have females who enter domestic violence can stay because of immigration purpose. You could leave. Don't make no man beat you and tell us, "Oh, me I get your papers." You can't. Left. You get your green card faster than those who are married. I'm just saying, it's off record. So we're sidebarring here, right? We're talking, right? I'm just saying. But I'm just saying, don't let that be an issue, guys. She had a question. Are you finished? What's the name? No, her. No, your sister had her hand up. Okay. Yes. She has a very small voice, guys. Just be extra quiet. She can't talk loud. I like her. Go ahead. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
And that's tremendous. There's something that concerns me,
Go ahead.
and that is that you've been so married
Mm-hmm.
at the church.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. Change. I know it's not easy, but what bothers me is the fact that you mentioned that you never not forgive them. And why it bothers me is because I wanted to, it's important that you do for you. You do it for you. And you don't have to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
That he did all of that. And that's what God has said in his word that we need to forgive.
Mm-hmm.
It's for them to deal with their situation. Oh, and pray for them. They're the secret, but
I don't pray for them. I'll be honest. I'm taking baby steps because I was able to go there in December when my son came home. As his church, he loves it. He will go nowhere else. I take him there, and a lot of times, and I was able to worship, and I leave immediately. There was no meet and greet, nothing. I send my son to meet, and I go sit in the car and wait till he's done. Is it a work in progress? Yes, it is. But am I anticipating? No, I'm not.
that's the first thing. That's okay, and I get it. I have my own, structure.
Yeah.
When I get heaven, when I get to get heaven, I'm part of the jury.
Mm-hmm.
And when that particular person.
Listen, but show it
I
down.
will make sure that I clearly it's clear
Yep.
why the person's going where they're going.
Yep.
But I would be able to overcome that. I would be able to overcome that and just went. And I think it went because I didn't make that statement you made today.
I'm not anticipating that.
That is that problematic statement. I think once you get rid of that, then.
And I always say this, in God's time.
I like that. So can you remove that statement?
In God's time, I will be able to forgive them.
Right.
On Sarah's time, it's a long, long time from now. But in God's time, see, I tell everybody, God knows where our heart is. Because like I said, I was able to bring them in on shelter projects. Did I do it with a willing heart? No. But because when I get the people from the shelter who wants to go to church, I don't have nowhere for them to go. So I will refer them there. I've never badmouthed my church, the church with nobody. None of the victims, I encourage them to go. It's one thing they're good. They will pray you with some strength now, but it'll tear it back down from you. But in God's time, I will be able to forgive them and make peace and move on. But for right now, I'm struggling. Who is next? All right, Carmen, what you got?
Questions on Zoom?
Carmen, what is your question? Carmen? Somebody said, I didn't hear the whole presentation. Where were you?
Hi, I'm sorry. I just had a hard time getting connected online here. Good afternoon. I just want to say thank you so much for your presentation. But I'd also like to say that I am so sorry that we, as part of the sisterhood, that we failed you. And I'm so glad that you found a voice coming from your place of pain and being a witness and a testimony. I do have a question for you, and that is, what are some quick signs, particularly when we have young women in the audience, that we can pay attention to for abuse for women. And then also we need to be able to talk to our boys. I'm a mother of boys. And so it's a totally different thing to look at. So what can we share with our young people, young women? What do they want to watch out for? And for young men, what do they want to watch out for?
Okay,
Thank
so
you.
first thing, there's most signs in us is that we isolate ourselves. That's the first thing. We isolate ourselves because we don't want nobody to see, or we don't want nobody to suspect that we are being abused. So we isolate. We will call out, we'll sit in the back because we don't want to mix with anybody, because we don't want to walk too much because he might hear us. So the first time we do it, we isolate ourselves. The second thing is, I can't talk to you, I gotta go. The third thing is she constantly wear long sleeve shirts, because when the abuser start hit us, he's not gonna attack our face first, because our face is gonna show. He left us in our back, in our upper arms, and he would dig his finger in her inner skin. So those are long sleeve shirt in the middle of summer, something is not right. Long sleeve shirt in the summer, just simple, is everything okay? And when you're ready to talk, I'm here. For boys are a little bit harder and tricky, because boys would just go on like nothing happened. You have to build that relationship with your boys and learn their body languages and learn when something is bothering your kids. My son lives in Jamaica. And by the way, we have Ben that broken ink in Jamaica too. Daniel is in Jamaica with my aunt. And I know when something is wrong with my son. When I called my son and my son has a worried look on his face, because I know my son. What happened? Mama, I'm fine. Text me. And we end the video call. So we text. And in that text, it's a safe space for my son to tell me what's going on. The recent uproar he had was the girl he liked some other boy, because the girl said the boy is poor and my son is too show off and he's too poor. He was a big thing. He wanted to eat. He was just so depressed. Call my son. What's the matter, honey? I call him up. The look on his face. I said, Pop, because I call him Wash Wash. I'm a wash belly guy. I said, Wash Wash, what's the matter? Nothing, Mommy. I said, Danielle, you could tell me anything. I said, I'm not going to pry. I'm not going to push. When you're ready, you could text it to me. And he said, okay, Mom, I'll talk to you later. And being the mother with me is, me start to call everybody in the house. Danielle. And my auntie start laughing. Wait till him tell you. Because it took me 2 days for him to tell me. And then he texted me, he said, and then he tells me. And that's where you have to know, learn your boy, learn your kids, that is the boys, your daughters. Learn their body languages. Build a bond with your kids where they know your space is a safe haven for them to come and bowl up. Guys, when I get to that level, I jump on the highway and go to Peninsula Nursing Home. And when I crawl into her bed and she hugged me, I could face my giants. When I go see my mommy, I could face whatever giant's coming at me, because I know I've forgiven her for what she had did years ago. And I know when I get there, it's a safe space. I can let my guard down. She knows me. She will say, what's the matter? I say, nothing, Mommy. She says, your body language is saying something different. I hope I answer your question. Learn your kids' body language. Do not push yourself on. Don't be too pushy. Want me to you? We know Jamaican parents is in the Casmia one. Want me to you? You know, tell me not. No. Let your child know when you're ready, I'm here. If you don't want to tell me, text it to me or write it down. Because me see my son, I text at the level, you know, some conversation with them, I text them, I don't know if to spell them the words. But he's advanced, he's more technology than me. So guys, learn your children body languages.
Yeah. Really also.
Wait, hold on, Ray. Oh, this is a man there too?
Yeah.
Oh, Ray, hold on. Let me take her in the corner. I want to hear from you so badly. Go ahead, Rep, anticipating your question.
You don't want to hear from me.
Move on, hear from your Ray.
I just text my friend Sherry Morgan on one of those 93 whatever show. I say, you gotta have this lady on your show. Anyhow, because they have a good show. And you probably know already anyhow. But thanks for your transparency and thanks for being truthful in everything. And you're certainly an advocate. My question to you was, do you have statistics, and maybe I missed this, of the occurrences in the Adventist Church, right? Are you gathering statistics of the occurrences of domestic violence or the level of domestic violence? Because of course, it might not be at the level that you experience, but nonetheless, even silence is considered domestic violence in some cases, you know, because the female might say, well, if he's that silent and he's not talking, what he's going to do to me next? You know, do you have any statistics of that?
Oh, you know, there's many different conferences. I can only speak for Northeastern, because that's what I know. Well, in Northeastern Conference, in Northeastern, on a scale of 1 to 10, the domestic violence level is at a 6%. It shouldn't even be at 1. And 6% is not good. It's not good. It's not good. It's not good. And as Adventists, we tend to, pastors abuse their wives. And that's the most common one of all. Because when they finish, you go up on the pulpit and then preach that. I spoke to a pastor's wife in the Bronx the other day. And she said, it was a brunch, a Sunday church, and they invited us. And I was a speaker and she was there. And when we finished, she was there talking. You know, we was mingling, and she said to me, can I talk to you? And I said, sure. And then we went outside and she just started crying. I was like, why are you crying? She said, my husband is a pastor of the Prominent Adventist Church. And guys, when she rolled up her sleeves, you could see the imprints in her hands. Her face is lovely. She's a young lady, nice, very nice. But when she rolled her sleeve back to show me, she started cutting herself. When she lifted her skirt up, she started cutting herself. Now, when you let it get to cutting yourself, it's very, very serious. All I could do was give her resources and tools. Am I going to tell her to leave? That is so many words. But I say, weigh your lifespan. I just give it to her. We talk on her regularly. Some days we texting codes because I don't want no problems. She was at the Sip and Paint. I don't keep events on Sabbath. I don't have none of my events on Sabbath. I might not be in a church, but I respect the Lord. I respect the Lord's day. On a Friday evening, I shut it down until sunset. That's just the way I am. And we talk, and she said to me, so from this year theme was Survivor Speaks. I didn't bring because last year we had Crystal Tomlinson from Jamaica. So this year we had Survivor Speak. So it was open for anybody to speak, and she was one of the speakers. And I said to her, you turn into a butterfly, man. You're flying. This is a fly, so you was crawling, now you're flying. And she said, I filed my divorce. And I said, okay. She said, you don't seem happy. I said, what you want me to do? Run up and down and say, good job, no. I want to make sure that what you did, it was because of your decision. And it's because you have taken back your voice. I don't want it to be that you're coming to my meetings and you feel like you were pressured into doing it. She said, no, it was the best decision I've ever made. She said, I don't want nothing from, I said, hold on, yes, you deserve something for all them licks. You deserve something. The Lord said 50% of everything he owns is yours. 50% of the house, make him buy your own. You know what, make him buy your own to the house. 50% is yours. Me, that was the law side of me kicked in. But the natural side of me, the advocate side of me is walk away and let him have it. Start over. She said, I don't like the law side of you. I like the advocate side, the side that tells me I can do this by my all over again. And she's going through her divorce. And the attorney that I gave her, he convinced her that she deserved half of what he had. You know, they discovered a whole hidden 401k, but it's a different story. But like I said, Adventism, we have 6% or 6 out of 10. That is too much for us. And we need to get it rectified. Does that answer your question, Ray?
Yeah, another follow-up question, which is,
Sure.
do you find that there's a possibility of reconciling without exposure, or there has to be exposure to the event, the occurrences, so that the person, you know, it's like confession is good for the soul. Once it's exposed and you know that the occurrence is happening, does it stop? Will it stop? Or I know you feel that most people say, well, once they're an offender, they will be a repeat offender. But do you think once it's exposed, that there's a possibility that they can work things out and move on from then?
That's a tough question, but here, let me give my best shot. People do change. People do change. And with God in a lot of things, He makes differences. Some offenders feed off a woman being quiet, because when your mouth is closed, they're comfortable. Some offender, when they get exposed, they're embarrassed and they want to make changes. Question is, are you making changes for me, or are you making changes for you? Because if you change for me, you're going to beat me again. But if you genuinely want to change for you, you will change. Yeah, they could change once, counseling session, but it's up to the female to decide whether she wants to take him back or not. I give everybody the free open, because like I said, I am not going to let him. I'm going to give you tools and I'm going to slide on my hidden agenda underneath it, but I'm not going to tell you, let him in on, let him. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to slide my hidden agenda underneath it, but I'm going to give you. You have to decide, am I worth it? What example am I setting for my children? And let me tell you something. Most men who abuse this woman grew up in an abusive household. They grew up seeing their father doing it, but they don't know no better. And until they get help, they will continue to think it's the norm. So yes, answer your question, with counseling and praying, things can make differences.
Do you only represent one culture, or does your advocate recognize cultural biases in terms of the Hispanics, or probably even Jamaican men? Because Jamaican man not take chat.
Listen, I'm not gender biased. I'm not cultural biased. What we do, we have Hispanic classes. We have Hispanic translators, and we have African translators. If it's something that's heavily African, I recommend them to my sister at Healing Hands Incorporated Inc. She's African, she speaks French, and she's half African, half Haitian. So she speaks heavy French and all different languages. So I will, if it's something that I can't deal with, I would recommend them to that. And if it's the heavy Spanish and the basic Spanish that we offer, I refer her to Returning Hope. That's my friend, Angelina Rosales. She has her own things called Returning Hope. So if it's something out of what I can, when a language is causing a problem to fix, I have a unit that I would refer them to. Betna Brooklyn is an individual, but we also have a circle of people that have their own different stuff for different languages. Does that help?
Yes.
I have her in the corner.
Definitely. Thank you.
No problem, my dear. Thank you.
Also, I can work in a homeless shelter.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do, because my safe houses upstate are permanent house. Well, let me not say that. They house you up until a year. My next goal and my final goal that's on my long-term list is to build apartment, affordable housing in Albany. I already have the land, and I already have the blueprint. I just don't see the money yet. But with this contract that I'm getting from the city, I'm gonna use it to build a 46 unit permanent housing for battered women.
I'm not sure, but we do have clients who come from shelter because after 90 days.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been saying what we can say there about the wraparound services.
Mhm.
There's no wraparound services. So I really, I'm telling you, I talk to my colleagues all the time, I'm a social worker. Our services, money management. I think you were saying, you just find it, you don't know what happened.
They go right back in. I'm waiting right now. My resource center is fully furnished. I have a 1, 2, 3. Classes already, teachers already on board. I'm just waiting for the fire department to come in and give me the occupancy. It should have been open from February 26th, the day off my sip and paint. It never happened. The city drag. The shelter is gonna be a 24-hour holding place. I missed that appointment because I was out of town and my assistant was dead asleep. So I have to go back to the drawing board and open it again, because once you miss the city inspection, you have to wait 3 or 4 months again. So the shelters on Safe House, I like that word better. It's on hold for another 3 or 4 months because I missed the city inspection because I was out of town. I was in California at the time. Tony, for your question there. But look how Tony invite me over here and she don't even have a question, Jesus. I don't think this is unfair.
I have a question
There's
to
a
ask.
question in the chat.
After me not seeing a question in the chat. Somebody said them didn't hear the whole presentation. Where were you? You just got on?
No, I heard majority of it, I think the majority of it, but I didn't hear from the very beginning. I just wanted to know, are you familiar with End It Now? Or are you a part of End It Now?
What is End It Now? It's another name for it. What is it? Is it the one that sits at the end, gender-based something?
No. End It Now is domestic violence for Northeastern Conference.
It's Northeastern Conference, Stop the Violence, or they have something every year of, you know, stopping the abuse, stopping the violence. They even have, I think, parades. I'm not really all that familiar but I just wanted to know if you were a part of it or.
Let me interject you with that. Having an organization that really come out and support your members is one thing, than just having the name and only do parade once a year. That no work. That no work.
Well,
I
found out about it in church because they would give flyers, they would give, you know, posts and stuff like that.
And how often do that come about? Just in only on October's you see everybody comes out.
Well, because I'm not really, that's not my forte. I haven't really been into it as much, but I know in the past when I was up that end, they were pretty big about it, Northeastern Conference.
No, well, I haven't heard anything about them. I haven't seen them on Instagram. I haven't seen them at no meetings. I don't know. I will check it out before I jump to say anything else. I don't want to put my foot in my mouth. And then the ear said the presenter did say, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go do my own research. I'm a researcher. I like facts. I like paper. So I will let you guys know. I have never heard of it. I only know you don't need for you to have an organization that only presents itself in October. The work is, domestic violence is not only in October. It's an everyday issue. I told you on a daily basis, 10,000 and something calls come through, only 1,000 and something get answered. So having an organization that is for your church where your members are being abused and you don't, the only time the members hear about whatever ends, whatever is on October, it don't make no sense. Close it down. I'm keeping it real. Anything else?
I have a question. Good evening. Thank you for your program. Very informative. Now, is your program that you're going to have geared towards the abuser to give them any tools like to stop the abuse so you don't constantly saving a woman just to end the cycle in itself? Are you considering that?
I thought about that, but how am I going to get the abuser? The abuser don't want to be helped. Abusers are narcissists. They feel like they are always right. And what it is. I can't get to the abuser. Because if I get to my abuser, you're going to be talking to me right now. Hello. I'm just saying, I'm keeping it real. When my son left for Jamaica, I start planning. When my son left for Jamaica, me already put the will together. Me already sent every last dollar out of my account. I pull out my money prematurely. I send it to Jamaica and I tell my aunt. I make sure I put it in writing. Anything happened to me, my son belongs to my aunt. Because I was on a mission. So, how am I going to get to the abuse? And I do not let, people often ask me, don't you let your personal experience affect you when you, nope, it doesn't. I don't get angry when I see, because I have a client right now. She's coming for coaching session with her husband. Do I get angry at the situation? No. Do I talk to her on a personal level without him? Yes, I do. Is he willing to change? She sees, I don't. It's not my place to tell her. I do the work. You now need to pick out what I say in code and work on it. That's why the app is going to be a pin push app where the abuse starts, you just touch. You don't have to open your phone to open the app. Your phone is closed, you just push the app, open your camera, open your voice, you're recording, send emails, send text messages, send alert to the police, they get you before you even call. When I called the police, they took 4 hours. My husband was already gone. So that's why right now I'm backed up until all the way in June because I got to be in Washington for 2 months just to get this app tested and ready. Any question? Any more questions?
I have a question. I just want to know if somebody wanted to join me
www.bendnotbrokeninc.org. There's a volunteer form that you fill out. My assistant bring it to my attention. I lay in my bed at night because I never sleep, and I go through all the applications. I called you in, I interview you. I let you know it could get graphic. I let you know what we stand for. If you still decide you want to join the team, you come on board and you get your t-shirt, you have to sign a non-disclosure form. Whatever happened here, stay here. Privacy is one of the most important things to me. Gotta keep your mouth shut, that's people's business. You understand? Because there are gonna be times when I have to call you and say, go here and move this person. I get called in the middle of the night, is the Rockaway shelter ready? No, it's not. Oh my God, what am I gonna do? I have somebody to move now, bring them to my house. I keep them for 24 hours at my house. Where are you? I'm in Queens, bring them here. So my apartment on Queens, I kept it mostly for the emergency until my place is ready. So whoever want to join the team is available. There's a non-disclosure you have to sign. I trained you, I inform you, and you go on your way, because there are times when you got to go on around. I work with everybody's work schedule. I'm understanding. I have team building meeting every Thursday. My staff loves me every Wednesday because they get free food. You don't love me, man. This Wednesday, I forgot, then text me, hello, are you forgetting something? I text back, what is this again? I already know, because it's like, look at the time. But my album staff, they love me, so. But my staff here in Queens, I have footwork here in team. I have food workers in Jamaica. So I'm in the process of working with the two the women down there, Farah Joseph and Brickell Cameron Diaz. And we're going to, when we get this resource center here in Queens start, we're going to go into the 5 boroughs and open up an office. Later on, I might think about having an emergency shelter. It all depends on how we go, but it's all in the works. And I tell everybody, if the plan is in here and it's not on a book, it's no use. My brain ticks, it never shuts down, because I'm always thinking. I'm an author, hey, I like to write, so it's always thinking. I have ideas all the time. So yes, Brooklyn. I'm always in Brooklyn because Jumani and I are great friends. Jumani, we're very good friends, and we are working on different domestic violence laws for the 5 boroughs. Am I going to politics? No, I'm not, but I like it. And if that's the way to get God's work done, something has to get done by any means necessary. Wait, did I answer your question here? It was her or whoever. Go ahead. Yes, it does.
And the reason I asked is that I know a lot of men who and them off, and that very often when they're being dated 3 months. I happen to see that one who that his wife was here, and he showed and that sort of thing. And he told the cops once,
and they laugh.
And they laugh. That kind of concerned me, because then what does he do? You know, what should he do? I guess there are other things he could have done, but you know, the concept, the whole idea of that thing, it's like you have to say, oh, I know that. And
if he and this is, it's so funny you touch on that. I was just at the end gender-based violence meeting in the city, and it came about. It was a debate, and I get tired of the garbage. And I said, why is it so much double standard that when a man hit a woman, he get arrested so quick, but when a woman hits a man, they are told to shut up, or you'll be called explicit names, or you're going to be labeled as dumb. Because what statistic has taught men to shut up and keep it. And then I always tell people, I said, sometimes we as women turn people boy picking a certain kind of things. And I tell everybody, I said, me want to do woman go put her hand for mine. I mean, tell me, the other day, some little boy said, Sarah, Daniel hit me. Me say, lick him back. Go lick him back. Lick him back. Daniel come, Mom, why did you hit somebody else's child first? All right, Mom. I bet he won't hit again. You understand what I'm saying? So whatever I do, I don't just do for female. I am not gender-based. I am not. I have a male shelter in Troy, and it's fully, I have no room. I have no space, and I house 10 men there. I have no room. I give them, I have a pastor that counsels them, but he's also a family advocate. He counsels them. He goes up, and we have circle time. In the public shelter, you are separated. Because you can't be friends with your neighbors. With me, everybody come, I open it up. Everybody come downstairs and eat. So you must know you, and you must know her name, and you must know she, and you must know she. Cousin never ask you, do you know that? You must. That's a way of building friendship and networking. So you have, when you're going through something, you might can't reach me. You have somebody you could lean on. Every hour we have circle time. We go into the basement and we all just have fun and we talk. I take them out on date. I give them Mother's Day this year. I'm going to take them all on the Mother's Day cruise. Why? I want them to know they're special. Father's Day last year, I had a big old Father's Day bashment. Why? Because I want them to understand that you might went through something, but you are special. You are loved. Hold your head up. And I tell everybody, when I walk in a room, I don't do this, I do this. And when I leave, I do the same. So when they leave my place and go out, you might come in like this. When you leave, you're going to be like that, fixing yourself, because I'm going to guarantee I'm going to give you the tools to do that. All right? Go ahead. I have some with children and some without children. They go to school. The bus picks them up. My building, you could not tell it's a shelter. It's a regular house. How did I get that idea? I was watching a movie on Perflex, the Christian channel. And the lady had a house. 45 years she's been doing that, taking in domestic violence victim, and nobody knew it was a shelter. And that's where I got the ideas from. So I have them do. The kids get their own separate counseling sessions. And then we also have family sessions. We teach the mothers how to rebond with their children. It's a whole heap of work, guys. And because we're not for profit, me have to go out there, go get the contract and the money and bring it back. So the staff will be able to function. Some of who's there, they don't get paid, guys, they get stipends. It's considered stipends. But it's enough to maintain their bills. We're in Albany. In Albany, I just got the one here in Queens. Every borough, every county has their own rules and regulations you got to follow. City ordinance. In Long Island, I can't put a safe house in some place in Long Island. I tried, didn't work, so I was far right back into Rockaway. Yeah, I'm in the 5 boroughs. I just have to work on certain things to get buildings in certain areas. where it's okay with the city ordinance and with the members of the community, because the city will say yes, community say no, gotta go to the community board, and they said no. I lost $180,000 last year summer because I saw a building, it was a Jewish school, and I fell in love. Got the contract, city say yes, the community says no. And because the community say no, the Jewish man give back my money. I'm a prayer piece of bad prayer for them building is the people. Me say, me prayer piece of bad prayer is it, and them building no rent. Yes, me did. Mr. God, make him building turn there and rattling down for me money. And then I bust out a laugh when me done. The guys, we being honest, right? The building sit up like nobody no rented. If you get, I didn't give me the building, sir, I give back my money. Yeah, because it was a commercial space. And they give it to me 6 months for a temporary trial. So what happened within the 6 months? Happened between the 6 months. Happened between the 6 months.
Okay.
You cool? Yeah, give me cool. What happened within the 6 months? That's not their business. As long as them get for their money, them okay. So that's why I lost the money. I'm a bad man. Me think me that go mad. But that's fine. I gained 4 times back after I lost that money. I was able to do other projects. Excuse me, guys.
Okay. Thank you about your prayer. So I am thinking now, how big are you? How big are you on the caliber in terms of training, working with these individuals? And then to know that, I just
every prayer. Okay, so no. I say what me and God do together is me and God. What God do for me publicly, I let the public know. What me and God wrestle with is between me and God. But every morning we have worship. It's mandatory. And before the time ends, we have worship. We do Sabbath school, and you're signed to it. You should have read the fine print, but you never did. So you can't do nothing now. And it was a struggle with the city to get it in place, but I stand firm in what I believe in, and it was okay with the Department of Homeless Services. Go ahead. It works. Everybody come down and have worship. At first, it was 1 and 2. And when I went up there, I said, listen, I called a big huddle. I said, listen, I'm not asking you, I'm telling you, it's mandatory that in this building, you must have worship. You're signed to it. You never read it. You didn't read the fine print. So it's too late. So everybody comes down for worship. And they can't be late. Because they will call and remind me, you're 5 minutes late.
You have a lot going on with the city, which is they're supporting you.
Yes.
And as a result, I would suspect that because they're supporting you, you also have to support them.
I do.
With the radio.
I do.
You have to support them.
I do.
You have that radio going on.
I do. I do. I have to. I have to. I don't have a choice. It's me scratch your back, you scratch my back.
They have
Yes, they do.
the women
when it comes to the rainbow colors, do I have them in my facility? No, I do not. I believe in the Bible and I stand by what God says, and that's what I believe in. And I don't care what that's my belief. When it comes across, am I going to turn my nose up? No, I'm not. But you are not in my facility. I have sister facility that takes them, then that's fine. But in my facility, I have none. I don't turn them down. I recommend them to other places. Yes, I have sister facility that takes both men and women. I believe in what God says, and it's just what it is. I don't cuss them, I don't do none of that. I said, I'm full, Lord forgive me, but me tell them say me full. I want me not full, me full. But I have somewhere you're going to be welcome and comfortable in. And do I follow up with them? Yes, I do. And when me done, Mr. God, me tell a wicked lie a while ago, you know. And Mr. God, you understand. But I have nothing against them, but I stand by what God says.
You mentioned that women stand against hands when left their
Abusers.
abuser. And I think that's the only area you do with the generation, right?
No. If I need to go to court for my abusers, I do. For my abusees, I do. If I need to go. But I'm working with immigration, domestic violence, not-for-profits. All they have is attorneys on board. It's called As New York. So I recommend everybody there because I volunteer there. I'm also on their board. So I see a lot what's going on in there. Mm-hmm.
Question.
Go ahead.
All right. Earlier, you shared with us that your spouse, and I believe it was the second one, he was sweet as ever. Him cook, him clean, him wash, all that. How far along in the relationship before the abuse started? And you stated also that you saw the signs, but why did you not
Leave, right?
act on those signs when you see them, since you were abused in your first marriage?
My son fell in love. It was 8 months after we got married. My son fell in love. And I tried to make my son only dream that he had. He prayed for a family. And that was his family. So I felt like I didn't want to tear it apart. I never argued back. I just shut up and I do all of that because I don't want my son to not have a family, because he doesn't have a relationship with his biological father. So when my ex-husband came in, that was his dad. I didn't want to break it up.
Jesus mercy.
So I just brushed it under the rug. Right, you had your hand up a while back. Go ahead. Okay, so upstate you could stay along for a year. I keep it for a year, and after that, I'll help you into transitional housing. I'll help you get housing. The one I'm going to have here is a temporary hold, 24 hours. After 24 hours, they move you to permanent shelter.
All right, Ray was there forever.
I'm so sorry, Ray. What's going on? Ray? Or Ray?
Oh, I'm still here. I'm still here. I'm sorry.
You have something to say?
I always have something to say, but I must have left my hand up. This time I'm begging, not putting it up. I'm sorry.
What you begging? Let me see if me can help you. Where you beg now? Go ahead and beg, Ray.
Mercy. Yeah. One of the questions I really had as a follow-up is, does your sister advocacy have a male, the opposite side, where men who might be offenders can reconcile? Go in and get treatment.
Not that I know of. That was a suggestion that was suggested by a male advocate, that another male advocate. You have, okay, let me not say this. You have 100 suits. That's a guy on Merrick. he has some kind of stuff for mail. I'm not familiar. We just became, you know, talking to each other, so I really don't know the extent of that. But I know he has something for abusers. I'm not sure all that he have in place. It's called 100 Suits. I don't know. So I know personally I don't have none. So me don't know who else have. I may never try to find out.
And does your advocacy allow for a female to actually confront her offender in a safe place, even though they're separate and everything, to explain? You say you're not ready yet, but I'm just saying.
No, that's the legal side of it.
Oh, that's a legal only when they're in court.
Yeah, that's the legal side of it. That's when she, no, that's when she decides that she wants to go to court for a TRO. When she get a TRO, after the TRO is issued, then she go to court for a lifetime for a regular restraining order. So the temporary restraining order, called TRO, is issued. She don't see it. When it's time for the original restraining order, she's allowed to face her abuser. That's on the legal side. Not on the mine. I don't have that willpower to allow them to face off because I don't know what is going to happen. Guys, if you need books, I have books with me if you guys need any books. Okay? If there's any more question, I'm going to take a site. Okay.
I have one question before you move on.
Go ahead.
All right.
She's having her hand up for the longest, and I tried to acknowledge her. Sanctuary for Homes will help her with that. Yeah, he could stop it, but he could stop it, but you have laws in place that protect domestic violence victims for immigration rights, as New York does, Sanctuary Home does, and Sanctuary Home has a lot of places in Manhattan. They have them in Wall Street. Wall Street is the best when they get nice, fancy food, don't they? Can they give you food stamps? They give you how they give you everything. How they give you everything, and Sanctuary Homes give you everything. He can legally stop it. He's the file. He can legally stop anything he wants. I stopped my husband filing. I did. I flagged him for immigration fraud. He can't get papers. So he could do it. And what she needs to do is make sure she have police report on the abuse. Sanctuary Home is going to help. People need to understand, New York is one of the best states to ever live in. Things might not be in terms of immigration, abuse, undocumented. There are policies in place here in New York that protect your right as undocumented. We have to learn this stuff. Stop sitting there being afraid. You are in a state that is going to protect you. Chicago does it. Boston does it. Connecticut, New Jersey is just trying to change the rules because forever New Jersey was a red state, a township. They're now a blue state. They're trying to change. Phil's trying to change everything that he can to make it immigration friendly. Do not live in fear. If you think you are being threatened, New York will arrest anybody who threatened an undocumented person with immigration and status. So know what the laws are. I love New York. I love Florida, but I love New York more. I found me in New York. What can I say? Go ahead.
So you're saying that your ex-husband is expecting number 2.
He's married to my friend who told me I was stupid, no man can beat her, and he don't get beat her just the same. Was I mischievous and sent her a book? I sure did. I was mischievous and sent her one of my books. I sure did. And I even invite her to my domestic violence conferences. I sure did. We were all friends. My ex is my childhood, so we was all friends. I used to come back and she said, "Yeah, idiot, no man can't hit me. And don't be a killer." But she's embarrassed to tell me.
Are you open to your partner?
Yeah, sure. You gotta tell me in advance so I could put you guys in. I know that I'm gonna be in Washington for 2 months, so I'm in between. I'm in between because I'm always moving around. All right. If you guys need books, I have all 3 books here with me. Bet Not Broken, Rebirth for Domestic Violence Survivor, Masking Pain, and How to Raise a Danielle. It was nice to be here with you guys. It was lovely, and I thank you guys for having me.
Before you run away.
Yeah, before you go, I have one last question.
Go ahead.
All right. I'm sorry, Pastor. All right. You stated earlier, right? Just like one of the sounds was like to watch how your child isolate themselves and they change in clothing style. And also the boys, we have to learn the children body language. But my question is, how can I, as a mother of a teen girl and a teen boy, encourage my children not to be aware of the signs of domestic abuse, violence?
Open up a conversation with your children. Put on little movies. I have a 16-year-old that I mentor. She's going through some stuff. And how I get her to open up, our little boyfriend that she have is hitting her. She was at my house and we went out for a shopping date, a spa date. And she came home and I put on that movie Enough by Jennifer Lopez. That's my safety net. And when I put it on, I was excited. I was excited the movie and she just bust up crying. I was like, what's wrong? Because every time we touch the topic, she's like, oh no, he can't hit me. I should go on. You're a little teenager. I should go on. Like, okay, but I noticed, little. And when I put it on, she started crying. And we opened the door for a conversation. So have movie and date night with your daughter. Have date night individually with your kids. And then having date night will allow your children to know it's okay. It's one thing I always watch Antoinette's page is the relationship that she had with her boys. You see, if anything goes wrong, she's gonna know. Why? She built that relationship with her boys to the point where if something goes wrong, they know they could go home and say, Mom, even if they're in the wrong, I know they're gonna come home and say, Mommy, I did, and she's gonna raise our voice. But at the end of the day, she's gonna get it together and she's gonna talk to her kids. Exactly. You have to do that. Exactly. She's like she said she had regular huddle with her boys. Why? Everybody get to put on the table what happened all week. What did I do to make your week a positive week? How did I affect you this week? Did I do something that bothers you this week? Have that open concept and conversation with your children. And that's what they need. So when you have teen girls now, you have to respect their boundaries too. You can't go push up yourself. You have to may I come in? Sure, sit down, have girl time. Sometimes our children need girl time, girls need girl time with their mother. Boys need boys time with their mother. My son, Lord of mercy, sometimes he can't even get rid of him. But me start to fret because September I'm going to high school. And he tell me, Mommy, I am no longer, you cannot call me baby anymore. I am going to high school and I have to walk like a high schooler. I want to take the city bus. And I'm saying, oh my God. So, and I asked him, are we going to have one of the meetings? He said, yes, Mommy, we're going to have meetings. So we have to learn how to give your children their me time and allow them to have that space with you. Teenagers are harder to reach, but allow them. Let her know it's okay to come and talk to me. Or let's go watch the movie. Let's go do her nails. Let's go do this. And watch how she's going to take time, bring her wall down. And then you can bring in what you really, really want to talk about and let her know. If anybody, talk to them. Because it's so funny. My mom used to tell my son, nobody's going to touch your hair there and everywhere. And when I used to give my son a shower at 2, he never wanted me to wash him.
Don't touch here.
Yes, he said, Grandma said, don't touch here, there, and everywhere. And he continued up until he was 10. Grandma said, don't touch me here, there, and everywhere. Why? Because my mother had an open conversation with him where she teach him certain things. So it's implemented in his mind. The Bible said, train the child up. No matter how far they go from church, they're always going to come back, because guess what? It's what God, the teaching was already inside of them. So when you teach your child stuff, no matter how far she go away from you, you're teaching that your voice lingers in her head. All right? I have to run because I have an event at 10 o'clock. Tonight is my friend's mother's 60th birthday, and I'm the MC there. So my life, and when I leave there, I'm gonna be in Albany for tomorrow because I have a state inspection on Monday.
Just before you go, don't run away. I just wanted to say before I thank you for everything that I have a nice quotation here from Mark Twain. You know Mark Twain.
No.
Your boy, Mark Twain, you know him personally. Mark Twain says, just to encourage you, anger is an acid that can do more harm to the vessel in which it is stored than anything on which it is poured. Hello?
It's true.
Good
man, read it right there. Carry a book now, man.
Yeah, so you don't have to worry. Those people who give you trouble, because you're taking the high road, you just say forget them. In order for me to be forgiven, I have to forgive them. Yeah, but you just don't like them, but you forgive them.
Give me a man. So, I'm a working for on that part.
All right, but I'll work with you.
All right. Work with me.
But we want to thank you. Brilliant job. Thank you, Tonette. Come in, Tonette. Look, on national TV.
I just want to say that I really and truly appreciate Sarah coming here to talk, to be transparent to all of us. Not everyone talk about their flaws. I have my flaws too, but I never come and talk about it. But she gives me that window, to where I can go about and talk about my flaws. And she came out and do it. And I appreciate you for coming, and I thank you so much. And we love you over here. And this is not over. We have work to do over here.
And everybody.
Volunteer me?
And everybody needs to get a book.
And I
buy a book. Yeah. Buy a book. Buy a book. What's the price?
The books are $20.
$20. So.
And all proceeds of the book don't go to me. It goes towards
the church.
My local church. Okay. Even so, I could. It goes towards my local shelter.
Yes.
So,
yeah, RPT and the shelter. All right, praise the Lord.
All right.
Let's all.
It was nice being here, guys.
Let's all stand for prayer. We're gonna close with prayer. Okay, let's go ahead and we're gonna have prayer this time. Dear Lord, thank you for being our guiding hand during this program. We thank you for the excellent questions. More so for the wonderful answers and also the information that we have been privy to during this very beautiful meeting. We thank you for this very outstanding Sister McCleary, lawyer, confidant, writer, author, mother, and friend. We thank you that you placed her on this planet to make it a better place. May she continue to transform minds and comfort many sad hearts. May she continue to travel the world so that she can help to make people understand that it is wonderful to live in love and unity. Thank you for the parishioners of this church, both virtual and in person here, and those who are listening on various of our outlets. And ultimately, we want to be in a place where changes never come, where there'll be peace and there'll be no abuse, but there'll be joy, real joy in heaven. Thank you for hearing our prayer. This we pray in the name of the Father, name of the Son, name of the Holy Spirit. Let the people say, amen. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you all for coming on. And we hope to have part 2 very soon. All right. Yes, you can go on YouTube and watch it again. It's on YouTube. All right. Thank you, Uncle D. Appreciate it. Hey, Donna, Donna, can I give you a host?
Okay, Pastor. Pastor, you could give me the host.
I just did.
Okay.
All right.
Donna, can you give me co-host, please?
Uh-oh.
Maria, the
Maria
message
was there.
everybody's not gonna be there, right?
Hi, Maria.
Hey, Pastor, how you doing? No, I was off. I just came back in the house.
Oh, I didn't realize. Okay.
Yeah.